Before the gods ruled the heavens, before kings carved their names into stone, there was one being who wrote reality itself. Not a warrior, not a destroyer, but the mind behind the universe. He was the keeper of words that could bend fate, the master of time, balance, and divine law. Every spell, every calculation, every truth passed through his hands first. The ancient Egyptians believed that nothing existed by accident. Every life, every death, every rise and fall was recorded, measured, and judged. And the one who held that record was Thoth, god of wisdom, god of writing, god of knowledge beyond human reach. They said the gods spoke, but Thoth decided what was remembered. They said fate was written, but Thoth held the pen. Tonight, we uncover the story of the being who stood beside Ra, balanced the scales of Ma'at, and guarded secrets so powerful that even the gods feared their misuse. This is not just the story of a god. This is the story of knowledge as power. This is Thoth, keeper of knowledge, scribe of the gods. The origin of Thoth born from order, not chaos. Unlike many gods born from violence or desire, Thoth was born from balance. Ancient texts describe him not as a child of flesh, but as a manifestation of cosmic intelligence, a mind given form by the universe itself. Some myths say Thoth emerged at the dawn of creation, when chaos began to take shape, and the universe required rules to survive. Others claim he was born from Ra's heart, a divine intellect created to understand, measure, and preserve existence. While gods like Set embodied chaos, and gods like Sekhmet embodied destruction, Thoth existed to ensure the universe did not collapse under its own power. He did not rule through fear. He ruled through knowledge. From the very beginning, Thoth was not meant to dominate the world. He was meant to explain it. The role of Thoth, the mind behind the gods. Thoth was many things at once. He was the scribe of the gods, recording divine decrees so they could never be forgotten. He was the mediator, settling disputes between gods when war would have destroyed balance. When Horus and Set fought for the throne of Egypt, it was Thoth who judged their claims, measured their actions, and restored order when the conflict threatened the cosmos. He was the god of writing, but writing to the Egyptians was not mere communication. It was creation. To write something down was to make it real. Every hieroglyph was sacred. Every word carried power, and Thoth was the master of them all. Without Thoth, the gods could speak, but their words would vanish. With Thoth, words became eternal law. Ma'at, Thoth as the guardian of cosmic balance. At the heart of Egyptian belief stood Ma'at. Ma'at was not simply truth, not simply justice, not simply order. Ma'at was the cosmic balance that held reality together. And Thoth was its greatest guardian. While Ma'at represented the principle, Thoth enforced it. He calculated time so the stars would not drift. He measured truth so lies could not corrupt the world. He ensured that every action, mortal or divine, had consequence. Even the sun god Ra relied on Thoth to maintain the daily cycle of the sun, to protect him during his nightly journey through the underworld. In a universe constantly threatened by chaos, Thoth was the silent force preventing collapse. He was proof that intelligence, not brute strength, was the ultimate power. The Book of Thoth, knowledge forbidden, even to gods. Among all myths surrounding Thoth, none is more feared than the Book of Thoth. This was no ordinary text. The Book of Thoth was said to contain the secrets of the universe itself, spells that could command animals, control the elements, understand the language of the gods, and even reshape reality. But knowledge always carries a price. The book was hidden, guarded by divine serpents and curses, because Thoth knew one truth above all others: unbalanced knowledge destroys. Many mortals sought the book, believing wisdom alone would grant them godhood. But every story ends the same way: madness, ruin, or death. Not because Thoth was cruel, but because knowledge without Ma'at leads only to chaos. The Book of Thoth was never meant to be read freely. It was a test, not of intelligence, but of worthiness. Judgment of the soul, Thoth at the scales of eternity. Perhaps Thoth's most sacred role was not among the living, but among the dead. In the Hall of Two Truths, where every soul faced judgment, Thoth stood beside the scales. On one side lay the heart of the deceased, heavy with truth or burdened by sin. On the other rested the feather of Ma'at, perfect, light, and unyielding. Anubis guided the soul. Osiris presided as judge, but Thoth recorded the verdict. He wrote the final truth of a life lived. He ensured the judgment was fair, unchanged. eternal. If the heart was heavier than the feather, the soul was devoured by Amit, erased from existence. If the heart was balanced, the soul passed into the afterlife, granted eternal peace. Thoth did not show mercy. He did not show cruelty. He showed truth. Because in the eyes of the ancient Egyptians, the universe itself was a record, and Thoth was the one who kept it. The deeper meaning of Thoth. Thoth was not just a god. He was a warning. That knowledge without wisdom is dangerous. That power without balance leads to destruction. That even the gods must answer to truth. In a world ruled by chaos and divinity, Thoth proved one thing above all: the pen is more powerful than the sword. In the end, Thoth was never the loudest god. He did not command armies. He did not destroy cities. He did not rule through fear or fire. Yet every god feared him, because Thoth understood something even the gods could not escape: that power without balance becomes its own undoing. Ma'at was not created to serve the gods. The gods existed to serve Ma'at. Truth, order, and balance were not tools of authority. They were the laws that bound even immortals. And Thoth was the one who remembered them. This is why the gods entrusted him with writing destiny, yet hid the deepest knowledge from the world. Because knowledge reveals limits, and limits terrify those who believe themselves eternal. The Book of Thoth was feared not because it granted power, but because it exposed truth. Truth that even gods could fall. Truth that chaos always waits. Truth that intelligence, not strength, rules the universe. In ancient Egypt, wisdom was never celebrated lightly. It was respected, guarded, feared. To know too much was to step closer to the divine and closer to judgment. This is the lesson Thoth leaves behind. That Ma'at is fragile. That balance is not permanent. That truth does not belong to gods or kings. It belongs to the universe itself. And Thoth was not its master. He was its witness.